Welcome to Tigray Television. I'm Erin Imana. We'll be reading the news for you today. Stay tuned. A teenager from Western Tigray who's sheltering at Addi Haq, a secondary school IDP camp in Ma'ala, says she's forced to take care of her 4 younger siblings, including 7-month-old baby, as her mother died due to lack of medicine 4 months ago, and her father was arrested in Humara before 2 years. Let's look at Abra Goratinse's report.
18-year-old Nazanet Aragawi, whom we met sheltering at an IDP center in Maqale after she was displaced from Humara, Western Tigray, with her mother and her 4 siblings following the breakout of war in November of 2020, says she is looking after her 4 siblings, including her 7-month-old baby sister, at her young age, as her mother died 4 months ago, and her father was arrested in Humara before 2 years.
We are living alone here. My mother died 4 months ago in Salakhlakha, northwestern Tigray, due to lack of medicine, and my father was arrested in Humara before 2 years. I don't know if he's alive or dead now. I'm the one who is responsible to take care of my siblings here. It's agonizing.
The teenager expresses her desperation that she couldn't get enough food to feed her 4 siblings and suffering from severe cold, as she doesn't have blanket and sleeping mat in the IDP center, where she says the cold weather is extremely difficult.
We're encountering various problems here. As you can see, my mother died leaving a 7-month-old baby with me. I've been feeding her, buying milk with the money that people around here offer me, but it's not enough. The cold here is immense, as we don't have blankets and sleeping mat in this IDP center.
Nazanet states that she is happy for the Pretoria peace agreement between the federal government of Ethiopia and the government of Tigray, in spite of her mother's death, as the agreement has alleviated her problem significantly. She says she could meet her relatives in different parts of the world via telephone following the resumption of telecom service in Tigray. However, says Nazanet, she is still unable to get financial support from her relatives, as banking service is still inaccessible, and she called for immediate resumption of banking service in Tigray.
I'm happy for the peace deal, although I have lost my mother. I could meet my relatives who live in distant areas, as telecom services have been resumed. My relatives could help me, but this would be possible when banking services resume. I call on the parties into the agreement to accelerate the resumption of full banking services. We are perishing here due to hunger. I hope the peace deal will be fully implemented soon, so that we would return home and continue my education.
Nazanet says she is taking family responsibility at her younger age, since all her 4 siblings are younger than her, and she called all kind-hearted people to help her feed her siblings, including her 7-month-old baby sister.
I'm underage. My brothers and sisters are younger than me. As I told you before, I'm looking after my 7-month-old baby sister. I can't breastfeed her, so I call on everyone to help me feed myself and my siblings.
Reports so far reveal that more than 2 million people have been displaced from Western Tigray following the war, and they have been exposed to unbearable difficulties, where hundreds of thousands of them have died over the past 2 years, and those who survived remain on the brink due to lack of medicine and food, according to the reports.
Children displaced from Europe sheltering in an IDP center in Ma'ala say that they seek the full implementation of the peace deal immediately, while hoping to meet their families after 2 years. Betlehem Gabriel reports.
Many children in Tigray, especially those living in IDP centers, are still suffering as a result of the war. The children from the district of Europe in the easternmost part of Tigray and one of the territories currently under the invading Eritrean forces are at the receiving end of the catastrophe. As a result, the IDPs are forced to face the hardship they never imagined at this very age, and they are hoping to meet their families.
أنا إلدانا دحنا مهلك حسي بحال قاعد إيروبي متى.
My name is Eldana Adhano. I came from Europe. I am here separated from my family, and now I want to extend my greetings to all my family.
Eldana is not the only child whose heart is going broken because of missing her family and hoping for a better tomorrow to meet her mom, dad, and whole family. This is a common feeling of the displaced children now sheltered in Ma'ala. They are still waiting for the peace deal to bear fruit.
I'm happy about the peace agreement. I really miss my dad, mom, and my uncles. I want to meet them. I want to return back to my hometown to reunite with my family and continue my school.
نعدنا لنملس على خوتنا لوس بيتنا لنا كنا
In order to return back to our hometown, Eritrean troops should withdraw from our region. We also need to meet our family.
On top of their separation from their home, the children said that they don't get enough food and shelter.
We are learning here in the plastic house. It's hot. I would be happy if they give us a better class. It is hot here. The plastic is also hot. What's worse is we don't get enough food. There's also no enough space to sleep. There is a shortage of food here. We don't have soap to wash our body and clothes.
The coordinator of displaced children in the center, Rahwa Haile Selassie, says currently there is a shortage of food and shelter, and she asked the federal government to withdraw the Eritrean troops from the region. She also forwarded her hope to return back to her hometown.
It has been 2 years here. We have lots of problems here in this IDP center. We have children here with shortage of food. We also have children with lack of clothes, shoes, and similar other necessities. We teach them here in the plastic house. It's also not good for their health. Lots of displaced children ask to be treated here, but because of our capacity, we only treat 50 children. In the future, I want to ask the newly entering non-governmental organizations to solve the problems of many children. The district of Irob is still under the control of Eritrean forces. Even after the peace agreement, we are unable to return back home. But we hope to return back home to start the normal life we once had. We want to go home and start our school. I also want to meet my dad, my sister, and my whole family.
Physicians at Maqala Hospital told Tigray television that enormous amount of people are suffering from different types of diseases and losing their lives due to lack of medicine. They added that the federal government has to deliver urgent solution to the problems and bring the people to normalcy as per the peace deal. Mahari Taddisa has the details.
Patients in Maqala hospital say that they were hoping that the signed peace agreement would bring sufficient medicine into Tigray and save lives. But now many people are still suffering from different types of disease and dying due to lack of medicine.
I am a long-time TB patient. I used to take medicines regularly before the start of the war. Conversely, now I am exposed to different further diseases because I can't get medicine at this time.
We used to take medicine for free when it was available here, but there are no medicines in laboratory in Maqala hospital now. For instance, I wanted to check a blood test, but there is no laboratory here and it's expensive in the private health services as I have nothing at hand. We were hoping to obtain sufficient medicines and medical equipment. However, we are still suffering even after the peace deal.
Physicians in Maqala hospital Mulgita Kiros and Gabra Ababa speak that the peace agreement is a big relief, but its implementation process is not as much as expected, since many patients are suffering from different diseases and losing their lives currently due to lack of medicine.
The peace agreement is acceptable. Everyone needs peace. Therefore, the agreement should be implemented on the ground and benefit the people accordingly. Especially medicines and medical equipment should be given to the people directly to save their lives. If it can't save the lives of the people, peace without action would be meaningless. The federal government should immediately solve the problems in collaboration with the NGOs.
Already in the health
If the peace agreement is really accepted by both sides, they should immediately return us to our previous time because people are in a serious problem. We haven't got any support as Maqala hospital yet. If the federal government couldn't put an urgent solution to the current problem, the hospital will completely stop its services.
The medics also say people in Tigray are demanding for the siege to be lifted fully and restart their previous lives according to the points of the peace accord.
Director of Ethio Telecom Northern Region, Mulu Al-Deselasi, says the presence of Eritrean troops continues to hamper the resumption of full communications across Tigray. The director also stated that the shortage of fuel in the region is slowing down unrestricted movement of staff members to fix telecom lines and restore full service in the region. Noam Hadgu has more.
Director of Ethio Telecom in the Northern Region, Mulu Al-Deselasi, underscores lack of fuel and security threats are the reasons for not providing full telecommunications service.
برعما خوابي بزالمبسا خوابي بزغورسورناي خوابي بنبلت داغ عربي
Rama, Zalambesa, Gerusernai, Nabalet, Adaga Arbi, and others are the areas where we couldn't get access to because of fuel and security issues, as Eritrean troops were in those areas.
The director also stated he is hopeful that the problems to be solved soon and the company will provide its full service to the residents in all parts of the region that satisfies quality needs of the customers.
Now, as there are hopes that regular transportation would resume to those areas, we sent our staff members to engage in those areas. We're hoping that we will connect the areas around Adigrat Adwa and surroundings by the end of this week. Currently, our priority is the restoration of basic services. As there are lots of fibers and cables damaged and stolen, then we'll proceed to meet every desire of our customers in strengthening its quality.
Reports indicate that the company got an income of more than 3.14 billion Ethiopian birr just in the year before the outbreak of the war.
ICRC President Mirjana Spoljaric visited Ethiopia to reaffirm that ICRC will scale up its activities in Ethiopia. In his interview with Tigray television on Friday, head of ICRC sub-delegation in Ma'ala, Nicholas Oliver, said that the visit has enabled the president to understand the humanitarian needs on the ground. Abil Zagabu reports.
ICRC's President Mirjana Spoljaric paid a two-day visit to Ethiopia. In her visit, the president met with Ethiopia's head of state Sahle Zewde, Deputy Prime Minister Demeqe Mekonnen, Minister of Health and Tigrayan authorities, as well as Ethiopian Red Cross Society. In his stay with Tigray Television's direct talk, head for ICRC's delegation in Ma'ala, Nicolas Olivier, said the visit has enabled the president to understand the humanitarian needs on the ground.
I think she really was able to understand the situation in Ethiopia, understand the humanitarian needs. She really, I think, was able also to, in her exchanges with the higher authority, also raise issues that are important for the ICRC.
The head also added that the president visited Ethiopia to reiterate that the ICRC will scale up its activities in Ethiopia, especially in areas where conflicts were taking place.
Through this visit, also reaffirm that the ICRC is scaling up its activities. So we've been doing a lot. We wanted to do more, but we will do more. And this is really, I think, something that she was able to convey. I think it is also something that she will take back with her when she leaves Ethiopia. I think she will be very well equipped to discuss the issues in Ethiopia with other world leaders.
Mirjana took office as president of the International Committee of the Red Cross in November of last year. This week's visit to Ethiopia is her first international trip. She had visited Mali, Ukraine and Russia. Nicholas Oliver said the president is looking forward to coming back and visit Tigray.
She has told us as well that she really looks forward to coming back and to visiting, of course, Tigray at some stage. So really, I would say it was a very good visit where she understood the humanitarian challenges, and she will advocate to enable the ICRC to do more in Ethiopia and, of course, in Tigray.
That's it from me today. Thank you for watching.